Welcome! Today we're drawing a stubborn horse that just won't go, and be sure to stay tuned for the journaling prompt at the end. So I'm beginning with a diagonal line. It's going to be kind of like I'm making the letter A, but it's a wide A, and the line on the right is a little shorter than the line on the left. And then I'm building the body, so that's going to be like the chest and the shoulder area, and that's the rear end, and it's not perfect anatomy or anything like that, just giving you a rough idea of how I built the body. So it's going up at an angle, like he's pushing against those front legs, not going forward. And then I'm adding the hock and the fetlock, so I'm just adding like big circles so we know where those joints are. And about halfway down there was the knee and then the front fetlock. So, and that front angle of the front leg, I'm going to build the neck at the same angle, so he's really pushing back, saying I'm not going that direction. And then the head is the same angle as the body. I'm just not going to go. So it kind of has some continuity of the pushing back. I'll smooth out a little bit of the neck. And as I build the head, right, thinking of the back of the head and the cheekbone as a circle, and then tapering down to the muzzle. And we're going to go back and refine some of this, but we just want to have it roughed in that you can see he's pushing back, ears pinned. So I've got the ear laid back. Really just getting the essence of the personality, and rough it in whatever color you want. And now I'm building the hooves, so it's a little curved line under the fetlock. I leave a little space so then I can connect the pastern to it. And then the same thing, like a little curved line underneath, and it works if you curve it either way. Short line at the back, long line where the front of the hoof is, and then we'll just connect so we have a pastern going to our fetlock. And add in some mane, so having the forelock like flung up because he's pulling back, pushing back against his own feet, not going that direction. And then some S curves for the mane coming down, and you can see I can really change the shape of the neck a little bit on the top there. I kind of knew we were going to be putting in a lot of mane, so I didn't worry about it, and I encourage you the same. And he's sitting on his tail, so it's kind of going to be a mess out there, sitting there. He's sitting on the tail. And I'm putting in the eye with the eyebrow, push down on it on top, frown, nostril. And then I use a darker color similar to what I picked for the color to do some of the defining, and I do go back and make the head bigger after. So in the outlining I decided I wanted it a bigger head, and I don't do the outline everywhere. I just pick areas where I want to show some of the muscling and a little definition, but it's not meant to be a perfect drawing. It's capturing that we're stuck, not going. See, I'm just making his rear end a little rounder there. And just to ground him, putting him on a little bit of grass. And that's where I said I wanted it bigger, so I went back in, hit a few areas I missed. And I just added a little stippling, a little darker on the ground and underneath his feet to ground him. And now for our journaling prompt. Low energy horses can be a challenge to train because they don't give you much to work with. Any rider who has ever met a horse who just says no and doesn't move understands this frustration. Getting anything done is a task, let alone progressing with something they really don't want to do. No amount of pushing can force them. Are you like this horse? Uninterested, uninspired, burned out and saying no and just not moving? With a horse, we go back to figuring out what they will do. We just get them moving. Once in motion, we can start directing the feet to where we want, but you need the impulsion first. We can apply this to our own lives. Just get yourself moving. Most people only commit to action if they feel a certain level of motivation, and they only feel motivation when they feel an emotional inspiration. We typically think life works something like this: inspiration, motivation, action. But action isn't just the effect of motivation. It can also create motivation. The thing is, it's not a linear three-part chain. It's an endless loop. You can start anywhere. So if you've been stuck a while, start with action, just like a horse. Instead of inspiration, motivation, action, go action, inspiration, motivation. There is something Mark Manson calls the do something principle. You focus on starting. That's it. Just like the horse, get yourself moving, doing something. Once things are in motion, inspiration and motivation can build. Use the action itself as a way to motivate and inspire yourself. So if you're lacking in motivation, just do something and get yourself moving again.